everyone. I'm Dr. Renee Maghera. In today's podcast, I'm going to take you all the way to Northern Ireland to a place called Maghera in County Derry and meet Danny Gallagher, born to heal. Danny is a household name in Northern Ireland as a healer, helping people to better health, whether they are sick, wounded, crippled, blind. He has brought so much of happiness to a lot of people around the world, not just in Ireland. Joining Danny, we have Emma Hutchinson. She's going to tell us all about her daughter who had 4 holes in her heart and how she was cured. So Danny, I know I've known you for many years. You were in New York. I had interviewed at that time. You've been on the History Channel. You've been on BBC, national media all over. Tell us, this is a Celtic lore that if you are the 7th son of a 7th son, you possess a lot of healing powers. And this has been going on for, over 5 generations in your family. 7th son of a 7th son of a 7th son.
Yes.
Right? So yes. Tell us how this journey of faith healing began in your life.
Well, I just said, well, Lena, it happened out of nothing. I mean, first I bought myself an ice cream van when I was 17, got my first license, got my first driving license. And a little girl came around to me for ice cream every day. It was 30 miles from my home. And she was paralyzed, but she could crawl. She could crawl very, very good. But I could never take money off a child who was paralyzed, so I always give her ice cream for nothing. You know, I always give her ice cream. But this day I came around and I didn't see her. And I was very disappointed because I had always long hair and I thought the hair fell onto the ice cream the last time I was around, and maybe the mother wouldn't let her come out. But when I was about to close the window on my ice cream van, I looked down and I saw the little girl, and her eyes met my eyes like 2 torches shining into each other. I felt at that moment I must try and help that child. And I looked down the street and I saw her mother laying against the door, watching her daughter. So I shouted down to the mother that I was the 7th son of a 7th son, and I might be able to help your daughter. So this is how it all began. The mother couldn't get me into the house quick enough when she knew I was the 7th son of a 7th son. So I went into the house and I blessed the little girl, and unknown to me, she got the power in her legs. Now, nobody knew my name because I was 30 miles from my home. I was known as the ice cream man, but that was the only name that people knew me. But everybody started, when this cure broke, everybody was following every ice cream man. But to find out it was myself, and then the press got hold of it, and then I was invited to England, and the blind girl got her sight, and that was the story of the blind girl. That's the news of the world. It was the largest paper in the world, and that girl gave me a white stick. She was blind. Now in Ireland, I don't know about this, but this is my thing. The fact that she was English, and the story went round the world. So that's how it all started. Then people coming to me in wheelchairs. I was invited to all over the world: America, Canada, Australia, everywhere. So that's how it all began.
You started having these visions at the age of 8, but you started this right from when you started having an ice cream van, and then you helped this girl, and that's where it took off, and you were in national media, and you have this book, Born to Heal.
Yes, I have a copy of that book too. It was a journalist who visited me about 2 years ago, and she said, "Danny, you should have a book, but you should have a book wrote." So she says, "I'll write a book," and I just let her go ahead, and she wrote the book. That's how that came about. But many people over the years, anyone can get the book. Just buy the book.ie, and they'll get the book.
Yeah, the book is written by Madalena Merrigan, and it's all about your testimonials, how you've helped the wounded, the sick, the crippled, the blind, your healing powers that you're using, channeling from the universal energy from above,
Yes.
and getting to help people to better health and better life. And Margot is here to help us tell us all about Danny's life as well. Margot, you've been with Danny for a long time, and
Yeah.
this is just by touch. This is
I made that. I only made that to acknowledge people's letters before the computers come out. I only made that to acknowledge people's letters. So when I sent the little card to people, I got letters back from them that they were cured when they got the little card. And I can't explain it. I can't explain the healing at all. I just know it's a higher power than me. But I can't explain it, and it's happened nowadays. You were speaking about the American troops there a while ago. That's can you say that?
the Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C., helping these soldiers, bringing happiness in their life, blessing them, and treating them through your miracle touch. And this was, you were invited by the wife of an Army colonel.
And that's correct. And I was taken to the hospital by
2004.
2004. But it's very sad because some of the soldiers had no eyes, some of them had no arms, some of them had no legs and thing. And when you look at them now, I would say they were all babies because they were all in their teens, they were all young soldiers, and their life was gone. But it was sad for me, but I couldn't let it break me down. I had to still go on with my healing just the same, but it still bothers me to this day. Mm-hmm.
And there's no charge. You don't charge anyone. I want to go back to Emma Hutchinson. Emma, you're the wife of Dr. Peter Handu, who is a cardiothoracic surgeon. And you have Maya and Mina, your two daughters. And
Nina.
She had congenital heart disease. She had 4 holes in her heart. Dr. Peter couldn't make it today. He's in surgery right now. Yeah. So tell us about Maya's such a pretty girl.
This is actually Nina, and Maya has run out.
There's Maya. Maya was here just a moment ago.
Here a moment ago, yeah. Right, Nina's going to go.
Doctors told you when she was 6 months old that she has to have open heart surgery.
They told us just after she was born that she had 4 holes, 1 large and 3 smaller holes. And they said that if she made it until 6 months, then she would definitely need open heart surgery in order to survive, So, my husband Peter found Danny. He was desperately seeking a solution because obviously Peter is a cardiothoracic surgeon, so he knew by how Maya was that she wouldn't make it, to 6 months. There's Maya there. Say hi. Hello.
Hello.
So thankfully he found Danny, and Danny had actually gone into retirement at that point. So Peter was frantically emailing him, trying to get a response, but Danny kept, my understanding is Danny kept saying he was retired, and then finally I think he took pity on Peter and said to bring her down. So she was 3 weeks when we brought her down, so very tiny. And we saw Danny on 3 visits, and he really just blessed her, touched her, blessed her. And from that, we could see an improvement in her breathing and just her general energy and well-being. And she hasn't needed surgery or medication or anything like that. So she's very strong, very healthy.
Wow, that's amazing. This is where medical science meets faith.
Yeah.
And meets the powers above, because many times most medical doctors are very skeptical about this.
Yes.
And there's Danny. This is like a testament to his healing and bringing people to better health. You were very skeptical. I don't know about your husband, Dr. Peter Handu. Was he also skeptical about going to Danny?
No, Peter, Peter's from Zimbabwe, so they've always had healers, but no one like Danny as such. The same in our culture, there's always healers that people can heal maybe one thing like eczema or a sprain or something like that. But so Peter was actually on board with it. It was myself who was skeptical, because I just thought it sounds like a gimmick and sounds like this person's just taking us for a ride, as they say over here. So or taking advantage. But when I did meet Danny, I was amazed at how humble Danny is and how down to earth and just so friendly. And I could tell that he's not just trying to get money or anything. He genuinely wants to help and to heal Maya. And also he had all those testimonies of all his previous healings, from newspapers and TV interviews and things like that. So, but Danny's different in that Danny can heal anything. It's not just one thing. He can heal any illness, as far as I can see, from the testimonies and from our own experience as well.
So now Maya is 5 and the holes are closed now?
Yeah. She just has one tiny little, they call it a leaky valve. So, but the main hole and the other holes have closed, yeah. But she hasn't had any, physically it's not affecting her in any way, and she hasn't had any medication or surgery or anything like that. So,
what do the doctors in the hospital think about all this?
I think they were a bit bewildered, especially when, you would take Maya for a checkup or a review, and they would ask things like, is she having blackouts or is she lethargic? Meanwhile, Maya's running around the room, climbing up on the bench and trying to get out the door, because she's so energetic. So thank God, we are so thankful that we met Danny and, that Danny has healed her, because we just say to ourselves, our lives pretty much would have been over had we not met him,
Wow. And Danny's a household name in Northern Ireland.
He is, although I had never heard of Danny, believe it or not, even though he's literally half an hour down the road from where I live. I had heard of my understanding of it when I was growing up. Was the seventh child of a seventh child had, my understanding was foresight, but I didn't know they had the gift of healing, and I didn't know it had to be the seventh son of a seventh son, because I'm number 7 in my family, so I always had that in my head, that is a very special thing. But Danny explained it all to me, and then when you look it up on the internet, it's something, throughout Celtic history as well. So
yeah. So the Celtic lore is for countries like from Scotland, Ireland, to Europe. Those are the countries that believe in this, that 7
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Ireland and Scotland. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Rena, there's one thing, speaking about doctors there. Yeah, doctors, I have never, in all my life healing, I have never come up against one doctor who's scary skeptical. Even when I was in New York visiting your city, doctors took me out to dinner. And when I was in France visiting France, doctors paid me way over. And doctors visited me. So I've never, ever, even when the blind girl got her sight in Birmingham, doctors confirmed it to come out, confirmed it right away. And I have magazines and papers here where doctors have confirmed the blind girl was blind. There was no medical cure and she got her sight. But I don't want everyone thinking I do it all. No, I couldn't do it all without the help. Marga helps me with the people, brings the people into me and all, which is a very big thing. I couldn't do it unless she would bring the people in to talk.
I went to visit him one time in Maghera, and there was a wee child, and she was just around the same age as Maya, but about now, like about 3 or 4. But I remember she was covered in psoriasis from head to toe. And I remember every week she was coming on, and I was just sitting there waiting in the queue like a normal, if I was to see Danny myself. and the wee girl was getting better every week. I seen I seen all the psoriasis leave her scalp and her hair. I could see her hair. I could see her head. And then there was another wee child that came in, and she had cancer, and she was a 9-year-old. I remember them emailing Danny, and they were going out of their minds. And he says, "I'm ready for the madhouse if this child of mine doesn't take these tablets for the cancer, to cure from cancer." I remember Danny sat in the sofa, and he told her, he just looked at her and he says, "Now you go to school, don't you? You are intelligent, because you know that all that information in front of you isn't lying." Mm-hmm. And the way he looked, and the next minute he says, I want you to try for yourself to try and take this tablet. And before you leave today, I would like you to take this tablet, so that your mum and dad will go home and know that you're going to be all right. So within 5 minutes, now there was 3 of the family. There was a father, the mother, and an older child, and they were all trying to get her to take this tablet, and she refused point blank to take it because it would have cured her from the cancer that she had, and because they didn't want her to go in the hospital. The next month, the wee girl went out within seconds. The tablet was taken within that week. Danny had emailed them and told them, just email me back for the next week to make sure she took them, and she did. So everything was well.
Renee, what Margaret's referring to there, it was a wee girl who was in hospital, and she wouldn't take her tablets, and the family couldn't get her, and when she was taken, they brought her from the hospital to me. She wouldn't take her tablets, but after we brought her here, and I advised her, she took the tablets right away, the medical drugs. And
not one doctor, there was doctors and there was nurses talking to her and trying to give her this, and her mother and father, and the child's sister, and nobody could get through to this wee girl. Only Danny was on 5 seconds. The wee girl done what she.
Now, you do a lot of distance healing. You don't travel too much nowadays. Do you do distance healing, or people come to your home in Maghera in County Derry, Ireland?
Yes, you see, them people came from Las Vegas there just 2 months ago. They came from Las Vegas, and people come from all over the world. But I just wanted to show you something. That child was born deaf and dumb, and he got his hearing, and he could talk and hear and everything just like anyone else. He was born deaf and dumb, so he got his hearing. And this girl here, she had cancer. That was a national paper there in Ireland. She had cancer, and she recovered completely. My healing is mostly people coming to me of all ages, from children to people 90 years old or maybe more. One time when I was in Canada, a man took me out every morning to get the morning paper. And when I was in Canada, and he had no glasses, no nothing. Do you know the age he was driving? 101.
Does Maya have to come to Danny anymore?
No. Have to, no. Once Danny blesses you, you're blessed. We have seen Danny again, but it's been for other things, like he's mentioning healing animals. I took my cat, and he healed my cat, who had severe arthritis in her back and was on pain injections, and so he healed my cat of that. So, but it's obviously people that he's focusing on, but I just asked him because I feel like I know Danny now, so I felt I could ask him to heal my cat. But no, Maya doesn't have to go anymore. Maya's great. She's in, she's just started school there, and she's doing really well, and she's very strong, very agile. No issues with her heart or anything like that. So thanks to Danny's healing, we're forever grateful, to be honest. Like I said, we often stop and think how different our lives would have been, had she not made it to 6 months, or you know, if she'd had to have surgery, it's still a big risk having surgery, especially open heart surgery. So there's no guarantee a child of that age will make it through surgery either. So we're just so thankful we didn't have to go through any of that.
I know out there's a lot of skeptic people. I know it doesn't believe it, but I always said to skeptic people, anyone, I mean, if they can't judge anything just looking out of the window and say they have the answer, they haven't got the answer. And now I ask any skeptic anywhere in the world, meet me personally and investigate it, and then they're in a position to speak. But if they don't investigate it, you're not in a position to speak. Then I have had the world media, televisions and everything, vested my work. Not one media, not one, proved me wrong. And whenever they come into me, I said to the media, and this is the word media, when they meet me, I said, if you can prove me wrong, you do it. And the answer they give me is, it's a good challenge, we accept it. But to this day, no media, television or press or magazine or person is able to prove me wrong. So a skeptical speaking, and when he's looking at it, was one day at Sea's Flowers, and he thinks he's got all the answers. He's got the answers to nothing unless he makes it, investigates it. Whenever you investigate in something, you know you can speak, you have the authority to speak, but if you haven't investigated anything, you have no authority to speak at all.
Right. I think this is where medical science meets healing, the higher power.
Yes, that's what I believe, and I can't explain it. I just think, and it's not just Ireland; it's all over the globe. It's all it's happened all over the globe. So I thank God for it. You know. So, can I say one thing about yourself? You've got humour looking since the last time I saw you in the studios in New York.
We miss you.
That's the Irish charm, Renee.
Yeah. Maybe I should visit you all in Northern Ireland in Maghera. Thank you so very much, Danny Gallagher.
Thank you.
Darling.
And thanks for having me on your show.
Margot, Emma Hutchinson, and all the very best to Maya.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Okay, God bless.
Bye. Thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Renee Maghera. Stay healthy, stay positive.